The bells of Ajijic are ringing. Hola, Angels. Today I want to talk about how I'll first give you a little back. I did the oracle for today, and it said, let me not, it's lesson 250, let me not see myself as limited. And where that took me is this whole idea of extension versus projection, okay? And you can't do both. You're either projecting or you're extending. And projection, I know we've talked about a lot, but the ego can only project. So if you're seeing sickness, if you're seeing, judgments in others, if you're seeing dissatisfaction or whatever you're feeling other than joy, you're projecting something. And the real trick is to do a thorough inventory to see what you're projecting and why you're projecting it. And that needs to happen before you can even get to extension, is you got to remove all those blocks, because for the most part, until we've done some serious mind training, we're just being ruled by ego. It's really the truth of it. And until we can heal a lot of all of our judgments about everything, really, in the now. This is not going into the past and healing every judgment, that's not necessary. Right now, if I'm not joyful right now, I'm in ego's domain, confusion or whatever, and that needs to be cleared. So the Christ mind that we're wanting to see through exclusively and only extends. And the only thing it extends is love. So this let me not see myself as limited, really, it just, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, if I see myself as limited in any way, I'm into projection. I'm projecting on myself that I'm limited. Okay. Now, and again, projection is a big topic. It can be towards anything and everyone. But once we see, let me not see myself as limited, there's a little door that's opening saying, if I don't see myself as limited, guess what? I'm not seeing anyone else as limited either. And that's the big deal, because that gives me just an inch of moving into my Christ mind. And it's the visual I get on this is the infinity symbol, okay? And right there in the center, that's this idea of, I don't see myself as limited, therefore I cannot see you as limited either. And that's the vertical right there, in that there's just one point on the infinity symbol that allows us to go vertical and into the Christ mind. The rest is all ego. The infinity symbol, we go way out on one side. Oh, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm sick and tired, I'm depressed, I'm resigned. Whatever. Then we come back to the center. If I can see myself as not limited, I am not limited. My life is just fine right now in this moment. I know Daphne last time was sharing some about the power of now, because that's the center of the infinity symbol. That's the power of now. And once we get very present into this one moment right now, we have a chance of using our Christ mind and moving into the Christ mind. Now, I don't like to get on the timeline because it usually ends up in me causing myself grief. But this process of learning mind control, you'll get to the center and go, oh yeah, okay, I'm not limited. And if I'm not limited, if I don't see myself as limited, then I have a chance of extending love and not judgment. And then something will happen. Something will happen. And you'll want to make someone wrong. Those assholes, go drive in traffic. God damn it, those assholes. And the reality is that's just part of the mind training process. And as quickly as possible, as soon as you see yourself, you've deviated from that center point on the infinity symbol, and you start going out seeing assholes, come back. Let me not see myself as limited, because if I don't see myself as limited, I will not see anyone else as limited either, because it's the only chance right there in that moment to extend my Christ mind, to extend love, not only to myself, but that's the most important one. Because once I extend love to myself, I can therefore extend love to everybody. But if I'm caught out in the infinity symbol on either wing, it's suffering land, it's ego land, I'm lost. I'm lost in the netherlands of judgment. What I saw. There was hang on, here's Marianne Williamson. And I'm sure this is Love or Fear, her book. But anyway, it's just a quote. In every moment, we make a decision, whether conscious or unconscious. Will I choose to open my heart, send love without judgment, and thus free myself from fear? Or you're in the middle of the infinity right now, but then that or is going to take you out. Or will I close my heart, project fear instead of extending love, judge others, and thus bind myself to fear? The choice is mine and mine alone. I love that. So, if you can just throughout your day, if you can work it in, ask yourself, and I go back to the lesson 250, ask yourself, am I seeing myself as limited right now in any way? Do I see myself as limited right now in any way? Because, and again, you've got to answer this honestly. But if you can see yourself as unlimited in the moment, that's great. That's fabulous. But if you see yourself as vulnerable in any way, someone's doing something to you, or the world is doing something to you, or germs are doing something to you, or diagnosis is doing something for you, you're seeing yourself as frail and vulnerable. And that's not the Christ mind. You're way out on the wings of infinity. You want to get back to that centermost point of, I see myself as completely unlimited. I'm not bound by my mind. I'm not controlled by ego. I'm not projecting anything other than I'm feeling good. I feel good. I feel joyful. And that's really, it comes back. I know we talked about, I don't know, last couple of sessions. We talked about this. Another question you can stop during, I'm giving you some homework here. Just stop, pause, write. What I always found was helpful? Write it on your arm. Get a Sharpie, write it on your arm, and go through your day. One of them is, am I seeing myself as unlimited? Am I happy? These are just little quickies. You can be getting gas at the gas station. You can be waiting for the bus, or you can be eating breakfast with your family. And you just, in an instant, ask yourself, am I happy? Yes, great. Keep eating. These are just these momentary little questions we can ask ourselves to show us which mind we're using. Because there's only two ways of seeing anything: love or projection. That's it, period. Let's get this down to real simplistic things here. We're either projecting or we're extending. And you can only project fear, and you can only extend love. Extension of love comes from the Christ mind. Projecting fear comes from ego. Okay? That's it. That's about as simple as I can get it. And I do like simple. Keeps me from getting too much into my story of I'm smart. That serves me not. And if it doesn't serve me, guess who it also doesn't serve? You. Because I can only extend from where I find myself in this moment right now. Daphne was saying last time, sorry, Daphne, for pointing you out, but you were this Power of Now, which I should probably go back and reread it too. If you're not in the now, you're guilty. That's it. And if you're feeling guilty, you're going to be thinking stuff like, man, my body isn't doing well. I'm tired. My neighbor drives me nuts. I need more money. I have to work harder. That's just ego domain. And we have to really train ourselves to come back to the center of the infinity sign. Come back to the center, this very moment of now. Because, and I'm, Daphne, if you ever, while you're rereading the Power of Now, if you come across, because I'm sure it was Eckhart that I got this from, if you're in this moment, pain is impossible. If you're in the moment, pain is impossible. And I think it was from the Power of Now that I got that. So if you come across that, Daphne, just give me a page number, because I might get the Power of Now just to repeat that accurately. Thank you. But from this moment of now, all things are possible. I can guarantee you, when Christ was being crucified on the cross, I can guarantee you, as they were nailing nails into the hands of Jesus, Jesus wasn't thinking about, man, maybe I should have gone to the Sea of Galilee with the rest of them. No. He was very much present right there, because he didn't feel that pain. He was just very present with the experiences of now. And that's, I don't care what yogi you're following. I don't care what great guru, present or past. This is it. This is the mind training. And it happens very much right now, in this moment. I keep going back to someone commenting on something that we had put on Zoom. And they were talking about, yeah, it's like you wake up and you have a dry patch on your arm. And then you go out and someone says, and this is what I want you to be careful for with yourself. don't go here. Someone looks at it and goes, oh, that looks like eczema. Don't ever put that on someone else, because then they walk around, oh, it's eczema. And then some other great, knowledge holder says, oh, that looks like cancer. Now it has moved from a dry patch to cancer. You're way out in the wings of ego's infinity land. And it's like, and that's why a lot of those comments do not need to be had. And this was by far one of my greatest lessons, because people paid me good money to come in and give them my wisdom. Jesus Christ. And I didn't know it at the time, but I certainly do now. I was an unhealed healer. And the one thing you don't want to do is go to an unhealed healer, which most doctors are, and ask them for their opinion. It's usually not good news. And then they'll say, come back in 2 months and we'll watch it. And then we'll tell you what it really is. And it's just kind of like we live our lives. It's not just doctors. We live our lives like this, trying to figure out the present moment, when Jesus is quite clear. Do nothing. And that's why I love these young people, these young 19, 20 somethings that are really following Jesus. They're doing nothing. And I'm sure they're catching hell from some adult in their life. Get a job. Do something. You're just doing nothing. And I can tell, I mean, they're so eclectic, these kids. They're just out there in the ozone, but they've got it. Their minds are clear. They're in the present moment. They're joyful. And I would have been at one point, until I had nieces and nephews, and I saw the adults in their lives trying to get them to go to school, get a job, get a career, make money. And I sat with that going, I just want you to go out and have a good time. I want you to be a happy person. Just be happy. And none of them were, because they were conflicted. They were already moving into their conflicted state. I need to do something. And if I'm not doing something, I'm not worthy of anything. And that's what the whole world is telling me. So that's why I love watching these young puppies on Zoom. They're bucking it. They're saying, I am unlimited. I'm not going to buy into the fact that you think I need a job. I'm not going to buy into the fact that you think I'm not doing enough in the world or taking care of things well enough. I'm going to say I am unlimited and I am happy. Guess what? Jesus said, our only function is to be happy. That's our only function. It's not to go out and get a job. It's not to go out and become a doctor. It's not to go out and tell someone their little dry patch of skin is eczema. That's not our function. That's function unfulfilled. And we have to come back going, oh, right. I'm just to be happy right now in this moment. And the tricky part, well, it's tricky until you do it enough, and then it becomes like second nature. The tricky part is to go, why am I unhappy right now? And then you'll have something jump into your head. Oh, you're tired. You didn't sleep well last night. Well, that's obviously ego. Or, well, you were diagnosed with terminal cancer. How happy can you be? And it's like, well, screw you. I'm going to be as happy as I can right now, because that's my function. And if I'm happy, that's where I need to be. And it's really to challenge myself. And this is where, God, I'm having a pronoun moment. Oh God, I can't think of her name. And it's embarrassing, which I'm forgiving myself even as we speak. You know, her whole thing is it true? Well, yes, it's true. I'm not happy, kind of angry right now. Is it really true? Well, if you ask it like that, then I have to start challenging myself. Am I really angry? Damn. Byron Katie. Oh, Dauphiny. See, thank you. I rely on one mind completely. Yeah. I mean, it's the same with Byron. This is Eckhart, Byron, great gurus throughout time. Everybody, this is it. This is the process to retraining our minds to eternal happiness. And there's really, I didn't sit on a park bench for too long. And I didn't wake up as many others woke up. I woke up the way I did. And it was basically, as Eckhart said the other day that I pointed out to, it's the bad stuff that you have opportunities to shine. I had terminal cancer and I knew I wasn't happy. I knew I wasn't happy. As I'm sure Eckhart didn't sit there going, damn, I don't have any money. I'm sure he wasn't waking up saying that to himself. And at some moment we go, I may have a choice here. It's like Dale, David Hoffmeister's friend in prison. He's not focusing on the fact that he's in prison. He's not focusing on the movie of the horizontal. He's focusing on his mind within. And this demands that we go within, 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 within. There's no one out there that's going to help us. Even me, I can't help you. I'm pointing, go within, children. It's the only answer. It's the only way out. The only way out is within. For whatever you're suffering with. And that means, as you've written it on your arm, am I happy? No. Okay. Are you sure you're not happy? Yes. I'm sure I'm not happy. Okay, then we have to drop in a little deeper. What are you unhappy about? My boyfriend hates me. Okay. Do you know that's true? Well, sure. Are you sure you know that's true? Well, no, I'm not in his mind, but the way he treats me, he's got to be unhappy. That's going into and trying to determine what someone else is thinking. And here's the trick. I don't even know what I'm thinking. How can I determine what anyone else is thinking? It took me long enough to go within to see what I was thinking. Yet I had enough arrogance to say what you were thinking. Oh, man. It's a double 1-2 punch from the ego. So that's my little lesson on projection and extension. And I'll repeat what I said in the beginning if I can. Ego projects, the Christ mind extends love. The ego projects fear, the Christ mind extends love. Can't do both at the same time. Cannot. It's one or the other. If you're feeling sick and saying to yourself, I feel sick, but I love you, and that's just bullshit. Stop. Really, take yourself into a closet somewhere and spend a little contemplative time Okay, you see yourself as sick. What are you fearing? I'm fearing I'm sick and I'm going to stay sick. You know? And this is where extension and projection, if you can get the distinction between the two of them, then you can start asking yourself just the question. You can write this on your arm if you're really advanced. Am I extending or am I projecting? It's one or the other. Can't be both. Okay, so with that, we're going to say goodbye to our YouTube friends. Goodbye, YouTube friends. Oh, God, I love it. Okay.